On Father's Day, my family gave me a mug that said world's biggest disappointment. They all laughed. I smiled, said thanks, and cleaned the dishes. That night, I packed my bags. 2 weeks later, my wife posted, "Please, if anyone knows where he is, tell him we just want him home." The porcelain was heavy in my hands, its weight a dense, cold mockery. On Father's Day, my family gave me a mug that said, "World's biggest disappointment." They all laughed. A chorus of bright, brittle sounds from my wife, Sarah, her mother, Eleanor, her father, David, and her brother, Mark. It was the sound of a private joke finally made public, a punchline I had been living for a decade without ever hearing the setup. I smiled, a pathetic little upward twitch of my lips that felt like it might crack my face in two. I said, "Thanks." The word was a dry husk in my throat. Then I gathered the plates from our celebratory brunch, sticky with syrup and smeared with egg yolk, and went to the kitchen to clean the dishes. The laughter followed me, mingling with the sound of running water. That night, I packed my bags. 2 weeks later, my wife posted on every social media platform she could find, "Please, if anyone knows where he is, tell him we just want him home." Lily misses her daddy. That Father's Day brunch was the end, but it was also the culmination of 1,000 tiny cuts. It wasn't a sudden avalanche. It was the final pebble that triggers the slide you've been watching build for years. We were at our house, the one her parents had helped us with the down payment on, a fact that was never, ever forgotten. The sun streamed through the bay window in the dining room, catching the dust motes dancing in the air, making the whole scene look deceptively idyllic. My daughter, Lily, who was 7, had already given me her gift. It was a picture she had drawn of the two of us as superheroes, with capes made of construction paper glued to the back. Her handwriting, big and loopy, spelled out, "To Datey, the best." I had it propped up against the fruit bowl, a tiny shield against the coming storm. Sarah brought out the gift-wrapped box with a flourish. "We all pitched in for this one, honey," she said, her voice dripping with a sweetness that always preceded a sting. I knew something was coming. It was in the way her brother, Mark, was already smirking into his mimosa, the way her mother, Eleanor, had that tight, predatory smile she wore when she felt she was about to witness a well-deserved humbling. My own uncle, Robert, my father's brother, was there too. He'd been passing through town and I'd insisted he stop by, a foolish attempt to inject some of my own blood, some genuine warmth, into the sterile atmosphere of my family life. He looked uncomfortable, a man adrift in a sea of passive aggression he didn't know how to navigate. I unwrapped the paper carefully, folding it into a neat square like I always did, a habit born of a childhood where things were scarce. The box was plain white cardboard. I lifted the lid. There it was, nestled in tissue paper. A big ceramic mug, the kind you need 2 hands to hold. The lettering was bold, black, and professionally printed. World's biggest disappointment. For a moment, the world went silent. The buzzing of a fly near the window seemed deafening. I could feel every eye on me, waiting. I looked up and saw their faces, a gallery of smug satisfaction. "It's a joke, Leo," Sarah said, her laugh a little too loud, a little too sharp. "You know, because you're always so serious. We thought it would be funny to lean into it," Mark snorted. "Yeah, lighten up, champ. It's hilarious." Eleanor, my mother-in-law, the architect of my slow-motion demolition, just sipped her coffee and watched me over the rim of her own delicate cup. Her eyes were cold, assessing. She was the one who had first coined the term, not to my face, of course, but just loud enough for me to overhear, years ago. It was after I'd lost my job at the architecture firm. "Such a disappointment," she had murmured to Sarah in the kitchen. "I thought he had potential." The word had become a ghost in our house, a silent judgment hanging over every decision I made, every failure, every success that wasn't quite successful enough for them. I looked at Lily. She was watching me. Full story on channel link below.